Don't know if we are live. I don't know if we are live. I hope we are. I think we are live. Not sure. There we go. Hi, welcome to everybody who is here or who is about to join us. This is the very first live show that I'm having on this channel, so it's great to have you all. First and foremost, I'd like to talk about the course I'm doing, the English speaking course that we are doing on this channel. So a lot of my students asked me how they can improve their speaking because they're having trouble facing exams mainly. So the reason why I decided to do this course was because I wanted to talk about some of the underlying issues that we have in speaking. There's a lot of misconception. There are a lot of people. There is a lot of misconception. A lot of people believe different things about speaking, and I did a lot of research. I did a lot of research at university when I was doing my degree and when I was getting qualified from Cambridge. And I believe that some of the myths which are present about speaking have to be dispelled. So here we are. So I'm just going to swap the screen so you can all see. So first question, true or false? Think about whatever you think might be the true answer, and let me know in the comment section. So the first question is, the first sentence is, we must speak in full correct sentences in English. Do you think that's true? Do you think in conversations people have to speak in full correct sentences for the conversation to be effective, or for them to be effective speakers? Or perhaps they can speak in a bit more flexible way. Think about your own language. Many of you speak European language, others not. So think about that. Is it, do you think, understandable to speak English not in full sentences but in broken sentences? Would that be wrong? So the answer is, it's false. Speaking in sentences. So it would be highly odd to speak in full sentences and speak in full correct sentences in everyday life. Just think about your own language and notice the way you take part in conversations. I don't think anybody ever does. For example, let's see an authentic transcript of a conversation between two native speakers. So this is an actual conversation which happened between two people who were not notified that they were being recorded. So it's as natural as it can get. So these are native speakers, and this is a conversation between the two. So A says, "So, what do you like doing with your free time?" B says, "Don't know really," and he pauses. "Reading." A says, "Yeah, anything else?" B says, "Yeah, going for walks." It's amazing. None of it is a complete sentence apart from the question perhaps. So here is an example of an artificially construed conversation with full sentences. The ones you are often taught at schools or at colleges. The one when your teachers say, you know, your grammar is not correct or your structure is not correct. That's what a conversation would sound like if it were to be with complete sentences. So A says, "Good morning." B says, good morning. Now, these are two people who know each other fairly well, but not too well. Two neighbors, you can say. May I possibly borrow your garden fork? Yes, you may. It's rather heavy. Now, garden fork, for those who don't know, is this instrument, this tool that you use in a garden to plow up your land a little bit, to make the land soft. A says, thanks very much indeed. Oh, I am sorry, I stuck it in your foot. B says, it's all right, I'm used to it. Careful you don't do it. You have. I am sorry, he says it again. It's quite all right. Please return it as soon as you have made good use. I will, says. So there you go. This is a conversation which possibly exists only in books, because people may say good morning to each other, but the rest of the sentences wouldn't look like that. It's very much out of the books. It's what you're taught at school. So where does that leave us? Spoken versus written. Everyday conversational English does not follow the same structure of the written form. That is a crucial point to understand. That when you are talking, it's completely different from when you are writing. Speaking has a different purpose. In speaking, there is communicative stress, which means that you are under some kind of a pressure to communicate, and that means that you don't really care about form that much. You care more about, what you need to say. So that's the communicative stress. You're kind of under stress. So difference of context. In written English, you're either writing an email, a letter of complaint, an essay, a report, an article, or if you're a journalist, while in spoken English you're not. In spoken English, you're doing totally different things. There's less focus on accuracy and more on fluency. We want to convey the message. So what, not how. You're not paying attention to how you're saying things as much as you are to what you're saying. The reason why we speak is because there is a reason why we need to communicate, and that reason overpowers why we are communicating, overpowers the form and the grammar and what have you. So what is the takeaway? So, at the end of it all, what we need to understand is you don't need to be overly concerned with the form and accuracy. Focus on delivering the message in both transactional and interactional situations. So what does that mean? Basically, don't worry too much about how you're saying things. For example, if somebody asks you a question, simple question, you're in a party, somebody asks you a question like, how long have you been here? There's no need to think about the grammar behind that sentence. It's present perfect continuous. How long have I been here? So I need to say for or since, or perhaps I need to use another way, another part of grammar. Maybe I need to impress the speaker because I want to show that I can speak English well. None of that is important. You can just simply say 6 months, 1 year. That's enough. And that is much better than actually saying, oh, let me think, oh, Les, I've been here for about 6 months. I've been here for about 6 months. Yeah, cool. Perfectly constructed sentence. No. The one who says 6 months gets the job done quicker than you. So communication is all about getting the message across in shortest time possible. Unless you're at college or you're in an exam or you're perhaps talking to a big public where people have come and sat down to listen to you. If you're the president of the United States, that's when you need to speak well. That's why Trump doesn't do a good job, does he? No. That's why we laugh at Trump, because essentially he's speaking like a little kid. His speech is not very good. In his case, he needs to focus on what he's saying and how he's saying as well. But it's not our case. So we have 5 lessons. In this series of 5 lessons, the lesson 1 will focus on what is suitable for both lower and intermediate level students. It will be a revision for those who are at higher level. We'll talk about meeting people for the first time. We'll say things like what's your name, etc. And yeah, so on and so forth. We'll do that later. And other expressions like, you know, hi, I am, you are, etc. Sorry about that. So then there is informal slang as well. So let me just take you back to the previous slides, I believe. There we go. So meeting people for the first time. Now we all know, pretty much everybody knows how to ask someone's name. There are different ways of saying it, so the intonation, the pronunciation may change, but the expression is essentially the same. If you want to use this expression, everybody will understand it. What's your name? And my name is. And then you can say, how do you do? If you're in a formal situation, how do you do means, how are you? If you don't know a person well and it's a formal situation, you probably wouldn't say, how are you? You would say, how do you do? And oddly enough, the reply is, how do you do? How do you do? How do you do? It's like a repetition, you know, it's like a mirror expression. Why are you saying that again? Don't ask me why. It exists. It's just the way it is in English. How do you do requires an answer. How do you do? So it's formality. Just remember that. However, there are other expressions. For example, hi, I am, and then you say your name, you know, I'm Marco, or I'm Ludwig, or whoever you are. Nice to meet you. Now, this is slightly more welcoming expression because it helps people to feel as though they're welcome. You know, they're at home because you're saying nice to meet you. You can also say something like, have you met before? So imagine you're in a party, or you're in a group, okay, and you see somebody who you've probably seen before or you've never seen before. This is a good expression. So you're having a party, you're having a drink, or you're in someone's birthday party. You will just simply say, have you met before? And the person will say, I don't think so. And you will say, you know, oh, okay, my name is whoever you are. My name is, and then you will introduce yourself. It's a quick way of breaking the ice, so you can get beyond the initial embarrassment and talk. If you are embarrassed, that is, because I used to be embarrassed, but you know, not anymore. But then we're all different, thanks goodness. Another way is that you can say to somebody, you are, and then you say the name. It's like you remember the person's name. It's like saying, oh, yeah, you are Christy, aren't you? You are Josephine, aren't you? You are Marco, aren't you? So this is another way of saying the same thing, basically asking someone's name. Even if you don't know the person at all, you can use this expression. It's important to know that the intonation is important here, is crucial. If you say, you are Kirsty, aren't you? It's a real question because the intonation is going up. You are Kirsty, aren't you? So I don't know you, but I think I might have heard your name, and that's why I'm asking you if you're Kirsty. But if I am quite sure, perhaps because I've seen you and I've been told your name is Kirsty, I will say it in a different way. The intonation at the end of the sentence will come down. Oh, you are Kirsty, aren't you? Aren't you? The intonation goes down. That is a totally different way of saying something. That means I'm confident, I know who you are, I'm just breaking the ice. So that's another way of, you know, whichever way you like. People use different expressions, and it's nice to know a variety of expressions, because what's your name is a typical expression. It's very bland. These are all very colloquial, these are all very nice, colorful, you could say. Or you can say, is it Kirsty? I think, is it Kirsty? You can use that expression as well. Or if you want to introduce yourself and you've never met, this is what you can say. So you can say, I don't think we have met before, have we? And again, if intonation goes up, it means it's a real question. If it goes down, have we? It's not a real question. I don't think we have met before, have we? And that becomes a real question. That becomes a confirmation. Sorry, not a real question, a confirmation. I am sure. So I'm just saying that sentence to open up a conversation. Remember, intonation going up means that I am not sure I'm asking a real question. Intonation going down means it is not a real question, it's just to have a confirmation, just to talk. So, informal or slang. Now, often in English courses, teachers don't teach slang or informal English. The reason is that we teachers are custodians of the language. It's up to us to protect its integrity. But what many people forget, including the examiners and the people at the higher level, of the canon, the so-called canon, is that slang does exist. People do speak it. So if young people are out there and then they're doing an English course perhaps, and they're going to England or the UK, they're not ready for the normal life. They're not ready for the life where they'll be meeting other young people and they'll be talking like, how do you do? Because, Robert told me that when you don't know somebody, you say, how do you do? But if you're with other bunch of kids or other, bunch of young people, if you say, how do you do? People will laugh at you. They say, where do you come from? Where did you learn your English? So it's really important to change your language just like you change your clothes when you go out. So if you're going to an office, you will wear the suit and the tie, black pair of shoes. And you wouldn't wear the same clothes with your friends. Exactly the same thing happens with spoken English. If you are speaking the way you speak in an office, I leave it to your imagination. You're not going to make a lot of friends straight away. People are going to feel you cold, and so they'll be a bit taken aback. Just imagine in your own language talking formally to your good friends. So I have a few informal sentences and slangs for you from the UK, because I'm from London, from the US, because. So, what's up, bruv? What's up is what's up, which generally comes from the States, but we've taken that in very, very much in the UK. So, what's a bruv? Bruv is brother, brava, because in London, in the Cockney slang, in east part of London, at least in the past, they spoke the Cockney accent heavily, and brother would be brava. The TH is like a V. So yo brother, brother is for bruv. How are you, brother? What's up, bruv? So if you hear somebody say to you, what's up, bruv? What's up, bruv? Bruv is brother. He's just asking you how are you. How's it going? How are you? UK, US. In this sentence, the problem is the speed. If you're talking to somebody who speaks fast, he's just going to say, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? That's extremely fast. And if you're not trained, your ears are not trained for this particular sentence, you'll be puzzled. You'll be perplexed. You'll be saying, what did he just say? Did he say something like, how are you? Or, so that's what it means. Just get trained and you'll be okay. Now, this is a new one. In the States, it's pretty hot at the moment. Everybody's, everybody's using it. It's cool, or it's dope, like they say, or it's sick. What's poppin'? And the Americans would say, what's poppin'? And there's a song, by the way, which is very good, which is What's Poppin' by, can't remember the singer. And this is, totally US. So you won't hear it in the UK, but in America, big time. What's poppin' means how are you? What's happening? Again, what's happening? What's happening would be UK. What's happening? It would be US. I can't do a very good American accent. Sorry, I'm not good. It's I tried. It just sucks. Terrible. No, I'm not gonna bother with that. So next one is you can say just chilling, which is I'm just relaxing. Oh, I'm doing nothing. So if you're, somebody calls you, say, you know, what's happening or what's popping, you say just chilling. That means just relaxing. That's the end of the conversation, literally. And you know, you're cool. You're up there with the gang. Yeah. So never mind that. Next. Okay, London. You deepen it. You deepen it. You know, it is like it. You deepen it. Do you understand? That means. Do you understand in London? Deepen it means do you understand? So this is very common in, you know, people up to 22, 25 years of age. So, you know, just remember that. It's very common again. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's the whole sentence. But all you hear, know what I mean? Know what I mean, mate? Know what I mean? Know what I mean, mate? Know what I mean? That means, do you know what I'm saying? You know, agree with me. For example, if you've had a terrible car accident, or if your boss treated you badly, you say, "Come on, he's a right plonker." Know what I mean? That means, don't you think so? And you probably say, "Yeah," and not that deep, man. Okay, that means that's not that serious. Deep meaning serious in this case. Man would be man, not that deep, man. So don't expect the word man, the so expect the word man, because the London slang is heavily influenced by the Jamaican patois. Patois is a slang. It's the language of Jamaica. And because in London there are a lot of Caribbean, the West Caribbean, the Caribbean, you know, the second, third generation people, and their parents have a heavy accent from Jamaica, Barbados. So it became cool to speak like that. So it became really cool, and people and young kids speak like that. It's and then when they talk to their parents, they automatically switch into "Hello, Daddy, how are you?" And they'll be talking to their friends. They say, "Not that deep, man," you know. And then they say, "Oh yes, Daddy, that's what I was saying to you." So they're able to switch very quickly. So, but if you're young, or if you're out and about in London, you might hear this language, and now you know what that means. I hope so. And mad ting, ting is with a T, not with a thing. That means a crazy situation. It's a mad ting. Again, it means a crazy situation. So that's all the informal slang I wanted to give you in the first lesson. I don't think it's to be underestimated, because you need to know, when you learn English, you need to know everything. You need to know the formal language, the neutral language, the informal language, the slang, the dialects a little bit. That way you get the full flavor, and you're never out of water. You're never in trouble. So that's what you need to understand, that even if you don't use slang, even if you don't talk like this, you need to know it. Knowledge is power. Yes. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, the second step, breaking the ice. When you're talking to someone, you can say things like, "Where are you from?" Of course, you know that. "How long have you been here?" So this is, I was just trying to think when I was in my teens, and you know, if I would meet somebody from Europe, there were loads of kids from Europe coming over, especially in the summer. And while we were in Leicester Square, walking about with our friends, we would bump into the Germans and the Italians and the Spanish and the Hungarians, all sorts. And you get to know them. London's a melting pot, and the first thing you'd say, you know, "Where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from?" So that way of saying "Where are you from?" is very quick. You say, "Where are you from?" And again, you don't need to say "I am from your country." You can say, you know, Italy, or the US, or Hungary, or Bulgaria, wherever you come from. "How long have you been here?" Again, it's a question about time. You could just simply reply 6 months, 1 year. "Do you like it here?" That's a question that you can ask if you're trying to like build up a conversation with someone. So you've asked them their name, you know where they're from, but you can't ask them anything else because it becomes too personal. So you can say, "Do you like it here?" And that gives you the chance to talk about how they feel about your country, and then that can lead to other discussions. For example, if the person says, "Oh yes, it's great," or "I've been having a few problems. You know, it's a difficult place to settle down," then that can lead it to another conversation. So that leads to people getting closer a little bit because they're sharing information. Remember, language is communication. It's sharing information. The more you share information, the more comfortable you get with the person, and the easier it becomes to speak. Many times when people are struggling to speak, it's because of not knowing the person and being in an unfamiliar situation. And that is normally the problem. Let me know if all of this makes sense, and if you guys have any questions, pop them in the comment section, and I will get back to those comments, I promise. So next question would be, what's it like over there? If you want to talk about their country, you can say, what's it like over there? Again, fluency is important here. What's it like over there? So when you're saying the sentence, don't break it down. Connect the words together, link them nicely. What's it links nicely. Like over there. What's it like over there? The intonation would generally come down towards the end. Otherwise, it becomes an odd sentence. What's it like over there? That sounds good. What's it like over there? No, it's not natural. So something else you can say, I'd like to visit it one day. You can say, oh, wow, coincidence. I've just come back from a trip to, if you have, of course. And then you can talk about, you know, the field the person is in, what field you're in, what field are you involved in. So that would be, you know, if the person is working, they would tell you about their field, that if they're in medicine, or if they're in working in hospitals, or perhaps they're in computers and IT. So that's that question. So that's one way of breaking the ice. Are you here long term, or are you planning to head back soon? This is a bit more personal question. If you think that you have made that kind of progress with the person you're talking to, that you can ask that question, by all means, far away. Are you here long term? So this is a long sentence. You want to break it down. You can't say it fast. Like, are you here long term, or are you planning to head back soon? It's like, it's really odd. So, well, you would probably say it like this. Are you here long term, or are you planning to head back soon? You know, so you break it down into 2 or 3 bits. It's also easier for the person to understand, rather than having, you know, the words fired upon them, and they have time to actually listen to you and understand. Okay, so there's another second step in breaking the ice. There are other sentences. For example, if you have a person in common, you can say, you know, do you know Matt? Do you know Matt? Are you a friend of Matt? Or something like that, you know. I thought you two were colleagues. So it's a very specific situation. If you know somebody, and you know, you can, if you know someone who was working with someone else, and you want to find out if they were colleagues or not, this is what you can say. So I thought is the British English. You would pronounce it with the O. American English, the O becomes R. I thought, but we won't go there today, or tomorrow, or later. I'm not very good at American accents, so I'll just do what I'm good at. I thought you two were colleagues. So that's that. And then you can say, I thought I'd seen you around here before. That's another sentence you can use. It's got a bit of a more complex grammar. I thought I'd seen you around here before, but it's not that hard. Are you by any chance related to, are you by any chance a friend of, you know, it's a real question, someone you know, so that's another way of breaking the ice. And at the end, you'll be exchanging contact details. Now, you can say something like, I hope you don't think it's too forward, but here's my number. So you can offer them your phone number. Sorry about that. That's somebody closing the gate outside. Should you ever need anything, here's my business card or email. This is a bit more formal. In a more formal situation, you've just met a colleague from abroad. This would be the right sentence to say to them. Again, this is neutral. If you're ever in my town, give me a call and we hook up. We'll hook up or meet up. Now, I think there is a slight mistake, if I'm not wrong. It should be if you are ever in my town. So please correct that. I will upload a document with the sentences that we're doing here today in a PDF format, and this correction will be there. It just goes to show that we are live. Goodbye. How do you say goodbye? Bye for now. It was nice talking to you. Or see you soon. Yeah. Informal. See you soon, yeah? You would say that to your friends, you know, see you soon, yeah? It's like saying, you know, we will meet again. I've got to dash now. Again, informal or neutral. It was lovely to see you. Thanks for the chat. I hope to see you around. Enjoy your stay. Keep in touch or stay in touch. Another expression that you can use. It's neutral. Pretty much okay in most situations. The last part of this lesson is about a job interview. Now, somebody asked me some useful expressions about job interviews, so I came up with a few, especially in this case. So, name. In a job interview, you're not using slangs, you're not using informal language, you don't want to yo mama the person in the job interview because you're going to be out very quickly. So, hello, my name is, keep it nice and clean. Hello, my name is, whatever your name is. Age, I'm 20 years old, 25 years old, or I am 20 or 25. You might not want to say your age. That's entirely your choice. But if you do decide to say it, that's the way. Profession, you can say, I'm IT designer, I'm a graphic designer, or I'm a waiter, or whatever your job is. So the job. Or you can say, I work in the field of, and then you talk about your field. I work in the field of electronics. Or you can say, I'm currently unemployed. That's why you're applying for a job. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there. Or perhaps you would be if you're applying for a better salary. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, where you can say, I'm from. Now, because we live in a global world, people come from all parts of the world. So it makes sense. Where I'm from, you can say where you come from. It does not mean what nationality you are. It just means where you come from. So it's just that. How long? Again, like previously we talked about it. How long have you been here? So you can say I've been here since November. If it's December, or I've been here for 2 months. You can talk about how long. How long you've been here. Free time. If you think it's worthwhile, then you can use this expression. I'm keen on, and you can use the ing form to talk about an activity. I'm keen on reading. I'm keen on riding horses. I'm keen on rugby. Yeah. So you can either use an activity like swimming, dancing, drawing, or you can use a noun like photography, rugby, football. So because the activities are also considered to be a gerund, a form of noun, that's why you can use both. Or you can just say, I enjoy swimming. Why? Why are you applying for a job? Now, it's very much a personal choice. In my opinion, this may help you to get the job you're going for, but by all means, be free to say whatever you want to say. This is just a penny for my thought, you know. Don't take that as the expression to use in a job interview, but it may help you. So I don't want to take any responsibility for people getting kicked out of a job interview. Do you know what I mean? Use your common sense. So I'd like to bring my expertise to the service of the company, at the same time challenge myself. So you're saying that you want to show them how good you are, but at the same time get better. I'd like to see how far I can go in this exciting environment. So now you're commenting on the fact that the company has an exciting environment. That's a compliment, and the person might actually like that. The person interviewing you, that is. Ready. I'm ready to start at any time. I need to give a 2-week notice to my current employer. If you're working for a company and they need a notice, you can say that. Qualifications. You can say I'm a graduate, example, engineering, maths. I'm a graduate in engineering, in maths, in law. Or I've got a BA or MA or BSc or MSc or PhD, whatever you have. Or I have a high school diploma. Many people have just that, and they do extremely well. Courses. You can talk about extra courses that you've done, which are always welcome because they show that you're ready to invest time in yourself and you're paying money to do courses. I've done, and you say the name of the course. You need to say I've done present perfect because it shows that it's important. And you can say presently I'm attending a course in photography, for example, if you want to say. So experience. So then you can use present perfect to talk about experience. I've worked for the name of the company for X amount of time. I've always worked on my own. If you've always worked on your own, that's a good characteristic. I've been unemployed for a long time, and I've done odd bits here and there. Useful expressions. You can say, I feel I meet the standards required for this particular job. Where I lack experience, I make up for it with my enthusiasm and desire to excel. Again, I mean, all job interviews have something in common, but they're all different from each other. So you need to decide what's best to say. But these are just expressions that you can use. Right. I believe we are at the end of our session. Now, do let me know if you found this useful, because it is really my intention to help you guys go up a level. So if you found this video useful, leave a like. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and if you want to share it with your friends. Bye for now. Thanks very much, and see you next week at the same time with the second lesson. And if you want to know what the second lesson is about, I can show you that right now. Just hang in there while I bring up the slide. Okay, so lesson 2 is for level B2 to C1, is discussing problems with colleagues or friends. So it goes into depth about how you tackle problems together with other people, agreeing to cooperate, and agreeing and disagreeing in general with statements. And then we have lesson 3. I don't think we need to talk about that. I think we'll leave that till next week. So thanks very much, and stay safe.